Hey Seekers, this is Hayden again coming at you with another video. So today I want to talk about spiritual awakening and what it is. A lot of times people talk about spiritual awakening but they don't necessarily define it. So I'm going to go ahead through this video and speak specifically about that. So let's go ahead and just break down spiritual awakening into its two components. So we have spiritual and we have awakening. So spiritual just means that it's an aspect that is of spirit. So it's not necessarily of physicality. It's more of something that runs a little bit deeper, something that's more true to who we truly are. And then let's talk about the awakening aspect. Awakening implies that nothing has really changed per se, except for you're awakening to something that was already there. So if you're awakening, you were asleep to or unaware of certain things, and then you woke up to them that came into your awareness. So awakening isn't so much adding things to your mind, to your emotional repertoire. It's not so much about adding stuff as it is about deconditioning the old patterns and letting new ones arise that are more healthy, more sustainable, more beneficial towards you. The main things to look for to know if you're having a spiritual awakening is reconsidering some of the past behaviors, reconsidering some of the conditions that I've set on myself or that I've learned from my past. Are you awakening to some things that are beneficial in your life, very positive, very, very transformative, and that bring practical change in your life and a feeling of openness towards different perspectives? Those are all things that are spiritual awakenings or can contribute to spiritual awakenings, but it's just that openness to explore, openness to grow. It's kind of a journey down a path of rediscovery. So like I'm in my 20s, so I'm doing a lot of reconditioning and re-understanding of what I've been told in my life, what I've been directed to do, and sort of reevaluating that and changing my course depending on whether that aspect of myself still resonates or whether it's something that doesn't serve me anymore. Some people do that and later in their life they just kind of go with the flow for the most part until they're in their 40s, which is like a midlife crisis kind of thing. And midlife crises are one aspect of spiritual awakening, because what happens is one day all of a sudden you see all the big picture of yourself and you don't like it, and you realize it kind of all at once, and that can cause a kind of a panic or a crisis. Sometimes it doesn't happen all at once, sometimes it's like a gradual process, and that sort of unfolds over time. But spiritual awakening isn't necessarily always pretty, because there's a lot of old patterns and old things that need to be changed and reevaluated, and that can be painful. There can be a lot of emotions that come up, and turmoil and things like that can come through because you're basically transforming. I mean, it's kind of cliche, but it's very similar to what a caterpillar goes through to turn into a butterfly. He completely changes his form from when he goes from a caterpillar into the cocoon. Inside he's changing completely and then emerges as a butterfly. And many of us do that many times in our life. We'll go through a phase, we'll reevaluate, then we'll transform, transmute, and turn into something else. And then from there it's like a constant growth process. And so spiritual awakening can be something that's actually pretty small. You can have like small little awakenings, and then you can have a larger transformation that occurs over a longer period of time, or it's like very short, but it's a lot of things changing at once. So when it comes down to it, it's basically a change in perception, a change of understanding of yourself, a change in your orientation towards life in a way that is positive, and letting go of those older patterns that have not been serving you anymore. And that is essentially what a spiritual awakening is. So if you resonated with anything I said today, feel free to like or comment below, and check out my other videos that I have on my channel. I talk about a lot of different things, and if you'd like to follow me on my journey, then consider subscribing. And as always, seek your truth and make time for yourself.